Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the impossible, the unlikely, how it can't happen here, and why accountability matters. So, over the course of the last year, I've made a whole lot of videos detailing and discussing the likelihood of success when it comes to some of the various plans that people thought Trump would use to stay in power after his term ends. They all pretty much ended with, this is very unlikely. Impossible wasn't a word thrown around a lot because I have believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. But very unlikely, a whole lot of them, because he wasn't a leader. He didn't understand what it means to lead. And that's a key part of it. He doesn't understand that once you're through the door, once you have committed to a plan of that magnitude, you can't stop and you can't hesitate. It was something that he failed to grasp. Sometimes you don't even have to be a leader. You can just be in a situation in which you recognize the opportunity. Had he been a leader or recognized the opportunity on the 6th, things would have gone very differently. This, by the way, is what I didn't want to say while he was still in office. I want to present you with a scenario. I want you to imagine if he had been a leader and walked down the avenue with that crowd to the Capitol. Or just recognized the opportunity once the crowd had formed and showed up. What do you think law enforcement would have done if it was the President of the United States attempting to gain access? When you're talking about securing people like that, minutes and seconds matter. Had he shown up, it would have eliminated those minutes and those seconds that were needed to secure the people in Congress. He would have made his way into that room with that crowd of people. And that would have been a very, very different event. Because that crowd would have done anything. It still would have been unsuccessful. This system is very resilient. He didn't have the backing that he needed. But it would have turned something that was settled in hours into something that could have taken days or weeks or even months. It would have changed that whole dynamic. It wouldn't have been the Three Stooges go to Washington that we saw. It would have been something a whole lot more dramatic. And I'm not downplaying the situation or the loss that occurred. But when you were talking about events of this nature, that was best case scenario. Could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. We need to remember that because it can happen here, and that was way too close for comfort. It could have spiraled out of control, and all it would have taken was for him to show up. Would have been it. We need to keep that fact in mind when people talk about unity. Unity is important. We need to get it because we need it to move forward. However, most of the people clamoring for unity right now don't really want unity. They want amnesty. And that's up to Biden. He has absolute power over that at this moment. That is up to him. And when you're talking about the little fish down at the bottom, doesn't matter. Realistically, doesn't matter. Them getting in trouble is not going to set a tone. Those at the top, those who were responsible for fostering the atmosphere that allowed this to occur, that encouraged it to occur, need to be held accountable. If they are not, it will happen again. It will happen again. And once it is successful once, It will continue to happen. Look at every country where it's gone down. Once that cycle starts, it is very hard to stop. This system is resilient. But there are very, very few things that are actually impossible. And at some point, we will get a Trump that's a leader, that can manage to see the opportunities, and who isn't afraid to execute his own plan or move to satisfy his desires, even if he didn't plan it. It can happen here, and it almost did. When it comes to this particular topic, feel free to go back and look at the videos that I've done on these subjects. I'm telling you, if these people who are responsible, who are truly responsible, are not held accountable, it will happen again. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.